All right, picture this. It's 2 a.m. at a hackathon. You and your team just locked in an absolutely brilliant idea for a startup. I mean, it's a real game changer. The back-end architecture is sketched out, the database is spinning up, and the logic is totally sound. But then, you hit a brick wall. You need a front end. And not just any front end. You need it to look professional, trustworthy, and sleek. But let's be real, absolutely no one on your team knows the first thing about UI design. You're just staring at a blank screen, the clock is ticking down, and you are officially trapped in what we call blank canvas paralysis. Well, welcome to today's explainer, because we are going to completely eliminate that problem for you.
It's such a frustrating reality, right? You can write the complex code, you totally understand the market fit, but you just can't push the pixels around to make it look like a real billion-dollar app. Well, thanks to Google's massive May 2026 update to a tool called Google Stich, that blank canvas paralysis is literally a thing of the past. Okay, let's dive into this and see exactly how you can go from an empty, intimidating screen to a fully functional, gorgeous app interface in just seconds.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover the blank canvas cure, mastering vibe design prompts, conversing with voice canvas, setting up design rules in design.md, exporting pixels to React, and finally, building your dream portfolio. Let's get right into it. Starting off with part 1, the blank canvas cure. It is time to say goodbye to pixel pushing.
So Google Stich 2.0 has completely shaken up the design industry, especially for those of us trying to survive on a student budget. Just look at the industry standard Figma. It requires a super steep learning curve, it takes hours or even days to build complex designs from scratch, and it's going to set you back $55 a month for an org seat. Google Stich, on the other hand, it is 100% free. You get 550 standard generations every single month. There's literally zero learning curve, and it pumps out high-fidelity designs in seconds. Actually, this shift was so massive that when Google announced the 2.0 update back in March 2026, Figma's stock dropped by more than 4% that exact same day. No joke. And Stich isn't just some toy. It's a true AI-native UI design tool built right on top of Google Labs Gemini 3.0 models.
Moving right along to part 2, mastering vibe design prompts. This is all about communicating your emotional app goals.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that there's a fundamental shift happening in how we interact with software. The old way? It completely forced you to be a technician. You'd have to sit there and type out, place a 400 pixel box here, use this exact hex code, align it exactly by 16 pixels, just tedious stuff. But the new way? It's called vibe design. Inspired by the whole vibe coding movement, vibe design lets you speak in emotional, business-driven language. You just tell the AI, hey, I need a checkout flow that feels calm and trustworthy, kind of like a modern bank. Or make a dashboard that feels super energetic and motivating. The AI actually understands the context, interprets the vibe, and automatically builds the interface to match that exact feeling. It's wild.
And to get the absolute best results out of this, you just need to follow a really simple 4-step formula for your text prompts. First, specify the platform. Are we talking a mobile app or a web dashboard? Second, the purpose. What's the app actually supposed to do? Third, the visual style or the vibe. And fourth, the key elements you need included. So if you're building a project, your prompt might look something like, design a mobile app home screen for a student study planner. Use a clean white background with blue accents. Include today's schedule, a task checklist, and a bottom navigation bar. You just punch that into Stich's standard mode using Gemini 3.0 Flash, or maybe the experimental mode with Gemini 3.0 Pro, and boom, you've got a completely professional layout generated instantly.
All right, part 3, conversing with voice canvas. This is how we iterate on the fly.
You know what's crazy? You don't even have to type out your revisions anymore. Stich 2.0 introduced the voice canvas, which is totally powered by Gemini Live. You can literally just talk to your design. You can be like, hey, make the background dark with white text, or move that navigation bar up to the top. The AI agent listens to you. It might even ask a couple of clarifying questions in real time, and then it instantly updates the infinite canvas right before your eyes. You can even generate up to 5 separate screens all at the same time. Now, just a quick heads up, you might look a little crazy whispering, make the buttons more rounded to your laptop if you're sitting in the quiet section of the campus library, but honestly, the sheer speed of iteration is absolutely unmatched.
Next up, part 4, design rules in design.md. Here's how you store your design system.
Back in the early days of AI design, you'd generate a home screen, right? Then you'd generate a profile screen, and suddenly you realize you have 4 different shades of blue and totally mismatched fonts. It was a complete mess. While Stich 2.0 completely solved this by introducing the design.md file. Think of this as the actual DNA of your project. It's just a plain text markdown file, but it stores your entire design system,
Your exact colors, your typography, your component styles, all your structural rules. It makes sure the AI agent deeply understands your project's overarching context, completely preventing any of that weird consistency drift as you build out, say, 20 different screens for your hackathon submission. You can even extract a design.md file directly from an existing website URL if you want to mimic a style.
And the best part? Stich acts like a bridge rather than some walled garden that locks you in. It includes an MCP server, that's the Model Context Protocol. This basically means your design MD file and your Stich canvas can communicate directly with your external AI coding tools and your dev environments to fully automate these complex app design pipelines. You are effectively and automatically syncing your design brain right up with your developer brain.
Okay, let's move to and see how this builds out in Part 5, exporting pixels to React, taking it from a simple mockup to your actual front end.
For any student developer out there, this is absolutely the most critical distinction. Stich is not just spitting out a flat, useless image mockup. Every single design you generate on that infinite canvas can be instantly exported as production-ready front-end code. I'm talking clean, semantic HTML and CSS. I'm talking modern Tailwind CSS. And most importantly, we are talking component-based React and TypeScript code. When you hit export on your project, you're getting your actual front-end skeleton. You completely bypass the agonizing manual phase of coding out standard UI components. That leaves you to focus entirely on the fun stuff, writing your backend logic, your state management, and your APIs.
Which brings us to Part 6, building your dream portfolio. This is where you start punching way above your weight class. So the crucial point is how this completely reshapes your output as a student. If you're at a hackathon, you use Stich to generate your entire UI in the first 20 minutes, right? That gives your team an extra 23 hours to make the actual technology under the hood work. For class projects, you can suddenly submit these professional-grade mockups that look like they were built by a senior industry designer, even if you've literally never taken a design class in your life. For your personal portfolio, you can rapidly prototype 5 different startup MVPs over a single weekend. And for those dreaded group presentations, instead of waving your hands around and trying to describe an app idea to your classmates, you just put a fully interactive, clickable prototype up on the projector. It just elevates everything you do.
At the end of the day, Google Stich 2.0 has effectively democratized interface design. By combining the conversational power of Gemini with the infinite canvas, vibe design, and direct code exports, you are no longer limited by your inability to push pixels. The barrier between your great idea and a beautiful, fully coded prototype, it's completely erased. So the only question left for you as you open up Stich with Google.com today is this: what are you going to build?